Hello. Happy New Year to you all. Just a quick update and a roundup of the year, I suppose. Um, Unfortunately, although the response was just absolutely crazy, I'm not sure what I had expected, but I don't think it was anywhere near the sort of overwhelming show of support, and not just financial, but also emotional as well, from and moral support, and from so many people. A lot of people I've never even met, which is just incredible, and a lot of people that I, worked alongside or with, or adjacent to, or within the same market years ago. So I really appreciate that. I mean, it just blew me away, and it lifted me as well. But unfortunately, we didn't quite make target. So a couple of months on, and pretty much not quite the same situation. Obviously, I think mentally I'm a lot better, and I've got electricity, but I am gonna lose this place, I think. But I've spent the whole year on tenterhooks, worried that I'm gonna lose it. So, at some point you just have to sort of, I still find it hard to believe that it's taken me, that I just can't get a job. So I just hadn't anticipated, I had to believe that something would come along in time, so that's my defense. But sadly it hasn't. There is, it's a delivery job in the evening starting in the new year. Trying to pimp myself out as a general handyman as well. And I have created lots of prototypes for stuff to sell as well, and I still harbour hopes of opening a sort of design studio community space for people that might feel the need for some sort of community. But I think the more immediate problem is that I think I'm not. It's a conversation for next week, I suppose, with the landlords. I'm not sure how long I've got, but it's probably not long. It's probably imminent. I've got the kids back with me next week. Hopefully we can squeeze out one last week to sort of say goodbye to the place. But I think I mentioned this before. As I said to our daughter before we left, we left this apartment that we lived in Blackheath for like 6 years. And I told her that, a house is just a building, but a home is where your loved ones are. And she wrote a little song about it. She said she's going to be a singer-songwriter or something to do with musical performance. I'm sure she loves it. But anyway, so as much as I hadn't wanted to literally start all over again, because I've got nowhere to store any of this stuff that we've accumulated. And I already threw away about 90% of all my worldly possessions to move out here, which was actually very cathartic and liberating. But then when I was sort of pushed out of our home over here, I think out of a sort of demented sense of gentlemanliness, I left most of my stuff there, apart from the bare essentials, the cooking stuff and duvet and pillows and stuff like that. And I've slowly built stuff up here, including buying furniture and building furniture and obviously decorating the place. So it looks like I'll probably have to do that again. I'm hoping that a lot of the kids' stuff, I'm hoping can go to their mums. I mean, she's got enough space, I think. And yeah, I'll have to ask around and see if anyone's got any sort of attic space or basement space or whatever. But I think a lot of it will have to go. But fine, it is what it is. But still a lot to be grateful for. And although I'm talking in terms of sort of failure, if you like, what you people have done for me and the kids is actually quite a lot. Not only did you lift me out of one of the darkest moments of my life, you gave me more time with my kids in a place that was ours, that, you know, I could look after them and actually care for them and parent them and, you know, put them to bed and wake them up in the morning, make their lunches and all that kind of stuff. Bedtime, bath time. So you gave us more time. We were also able to go to the UK to see my parents for Christmas, and just because of the way that we divided Christmases, it will be another 2 years before the kids can have Christmas with their grandparents, and that was wonderful. It was just, it meant a lot to my parents and it meant a lot to the kids as well. And they took us to a pantomime, which they did a couple of years ago, which my kids, obviously not really a concept they come across before, but they loved it, especially my son as well. And, you know, I have memories of running around in their little Christmas Jimmy Jammies and my son just being just so hilarious and inventive, and my daughter beginning to make that transition into adolescence. You know, she stayed up with the grown-ups after gone to bed on our last night. And so you gave me more time to be as present as I can be in their childhood, that, you know, the years of which are just slipping by. I mean, in the relationship ending, their mother and I have already ended up with, you know, we've halved the amount of their childhood that we will be present in and witness to. Well, slightly less than half for me, but and those times are just precious, and not just for me to sort of, you know, cling to their sort of childhood cuteness, but also for them as well, because they I mean, parenting is about guiding and, you know, being there to hear the things that they're interested in, the things that they're worried about, teach them stuff, guide them stuff, help them learn how to do things like regulate their emotions, and which, you know, is one of the reasons why I spent the last 10 years trying to learn as much as I can about myself, so that I can try and teach them these things. Anyway, so that to me is just priceless, absolutely priceless. So thank you. I was also able as well to continue with you know, I'm determined to get, I know it sounds crazy, but I'm determined to get the kids' bedroom finished, even if they only have a week in it, because I'm hoping it will form a showcase for a website that I can demonstrate what I can do on the cheap, but, you know, very creatively for kids' interiors. And also to create a few artworks and things, and experiment with a few things, but also some artworks as well, and prototypes to pass on to the kids and my goddaughter and loved ones, basically. You never know, it might be worth some money one day. But also, you gave me the opportunity to settle a question that's been burning a hole in my head for probably year and a half now. Basically, I was able to get what actually turned out to be quite expensive, a paternity test done for both my kids, which I know sounds just nuts. And it is nuts to me that it was even a question, but just to sort of give you an idea of the kind of nature of things that I've been dealing with in the wake of the sort of breakup of the relationship, which was 2.5 years ago now. Anyway, they are both very much my children, and I would have loved them unconditionally anyway. But that's, like I say, that's been a significant worry and something that I just couldn't get to because of money for like a year and a half. Imagine that. Imagine wondering that. Anyway, but it also has given me a renewed sense of sort of determination and outrage as well, to think that, like, what on earth made it seem reasonable to try and sort of push me out and erase me from their lives. I mean, it's just, anyway. So that is, you know, all these things are pretty big. So even though didn't quite make it in time to get something else set up, or, you know, get another job or two, what you have given me is just priceless. So thank you. Thank you. Anyway, it also gave me an opportunity to, I've been, like I say, I've been on this sort of journey to understand myself better since I found out I was being a father. And that led to getting sober, and then some years later still thinking, hang on a minute, I'm still being dogged by this weird sort of battle with my brain to do stuff. And so when we moved here, I then became aware of ADHD and what it actually was. I didn't really know what it was. I had this sort of very stereotypical view. Anyway, so I was diagnosed with that, but still, you know, something just happened to me when I moved into this place a couple of years ago, after what was about 4 or 5 months of the most insanely intense period following the breakup of the relationship. There was just no need for it to go that way, but it was sort of out of my hands, unfortunately. But anyway, to moving into this place and then starting a new job and stuff, I was just overwhelmed by this sort of absolute physical and emotional crash that was just beyond anything I'd ever experienced before. And I just couldn't, it didn't matter how much I tried to pick myself back up, I just couldn't. And I'm someone that needs to understand the sort of mechanics of something in order to get behind it. Anyway, it's given me extra time without being thrown back into the whole sort of shit fight of thinking, right, where am I going to sleep tonight? How am I going to see the kids and stuff? To sort of continue that process of trying to narrow it down. And I think I have, which I'll bore you with another time, but it's not only, I think, explained to me the nature of what I've been dealing with sort of emotionally and psychologically and stuff for the last couple of years, but also, I hope, finally explains things that have been dogging me in terms of the gap between the ideas I have and the intentions I have and the actual results of either success or even trying. So I go into 2026 with a sort of, you know, another subject to master and another thread to pull on. So these are all good things, really. So anyway, long story short, I'm really grateful to everyone. I always will be, for what you've done. And I won't forget it. And I promise when I'm rich and famous, I won't forget the little people that helped me along the way. Anyway, it's New Year's Eve now. Tomorrow will be 4 years in Denmark. We moved on the 1st of January, 2022. And, oh man, it has not gone to plan. But at the same time, I mean, one of the reasons why I was so keen to move here was the sort of time and space and stuff to be able to get out the rat race a bit and just learn more about myself and you know, get closer to being the kind of person and kind of man and kind of father and partner, ironically, that and son that I wanted to be. And it's slow progress, but so much about me I've changed in positive ways quite a lot over the last 4 years, which you wouldn't think so to look at the situation I'm in, but those are just circumstances. And yeah, I mean, on the one hand, it's almost, I mean, the absurdity of my situation and how it just lurches from one crisis to another is just almost like, it will make a good book one day, basically. And, you know, I must have had a hand to play in a lot of this stuff, because no one is that unlucky. But also in terms of just sheer like twists of fate, I mean, fucking. But I can see the funny side of it. But on the other hand, I'm just so much further along this journey of just trying to gain as much wisdom and insight as I can, so that I can add as much value as I can to my kids. And even if it involves a period of really only being able to visit with them rather than have a place for them to come and stay over and I can actually take care of them, then that is better than not being here for them or with them at all. It would be much worse for them if I was completely absent, and much worse for me as well. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about so there's a 3-month notice period on this place, right? And a couple of friends of mine did suggest over the last few months that I should just serve notice. And I was so resistant to the idea, because I was like, no, I'm not, this is my home, like I have a home again. Like I refuse to believe that I'm not going to be able to get a job and turn it around. And but I should have listened to them. Johnny, Caroline, you were both right as usual. But anyway, basically what that means is I'm going to leave owing 3 months rent to this company. And obviously I'm going to have to find somewhere else to live, which is going to be probably quite casual for a while. And that's going to make it very difficult for me to be able to rent another place, probably not getting my deposit back as well, because I did, when I first moved into the place, and it was the same week that I started a new job, and in the evenings I was just staying up trying to decorate the place, and in my haste to put up some shelves and create an area in the kids' bedroom that I call Calm Corner, which is like this nook with fake plants and stuff like that. This masonry drill that I borrowed that looked like a Gatling gun, and the walls are masonry. What I didn't realise is that they're only about 2 inches thick. So anyway, I drill a hole in this thing, I put up the shelves, and then like finished, and I'm like, right, I need to go to the bathroom. So I go into the bathroom, and on the other side of the wall there's a giant, like wall-to-wall, sink-to-ceiling, custom-fit mirror. I basically drilled a hole straight through the wall and straight through the center of the mirror. So it looks like a bullet hole there. And it was one of those things that I thought, you know what, my situation will become more steady, and I will replace it when I can afford it. Obviously, I think the landlord's probably going to spot that one. So deposit is gone. Anyway, these are all just details to work out. There's much to be grateful for, and a lot of it is thanks to everyone that has supported me in all the ways that you supported me. So thank you very much. Kids are with their mum this year for New Year's. I am quite happily at home just listening to music and trying to finish things. And yeah, wake up tomorrow and it'll be 2026. Anyway, I wish you all and your loved ones a very happy New Year. And thanks again. Just overwhelming and incredible, and just, yeah, it's just incredible. So thank you. 20 minutes, that's not bad.